Hello everyone, welcome back to the workshop. Um, Today's video is going to be a little bit of an update on what's going to be happening over the next few months here. So obviously, as you all know, we have committed, there's a band of us committed to produce a medieval centering for the Centre in the Past project, which will be going on display at Chester Cathedral on I think it's the 10th and 11th, or it's the 11th and 12th of October. It's there or thereabouts anyway, and it will actually be on display at the cathedral if anybody wants to go and see the Centre in the Past job and find out more about the project. So current talks, we've got as far as we were looking to go to Worcester Cathedral. Unfortunately, that's not going to work for us. It's just too short a time frame because that was the 12th of August or something like that, and it's just not going to work. So the second half of that project is going to be a course. It's definitely going to be a course now. It's going to be taught by Pete Eels and myself. Pete is an incredible timber framer and has worked for Carpenter Oak and Woodland amongst others, and been involved in many big projects, including Windsor Castle and one or two other bits that he was involved with. His geometry knowledge is out of this world, so it's going to be a good lesson for me as well as everyone else in geometry and frame layout, as well as so there's still some hewing and shaping of timbers to do. There's some pit sawing to do, as well as the joinery. So we're looking at a 5-day course now, which is going to be in September, early September. We haven't finalised the date because we haven't actually found a full venue yet. But let's just talk about the other reason why things are busy. Couldn't say too much yesterday in Sunday's video because we hadn't actually done the deal on this little creature here. But I'd like you all to meet Gin. This is Gin. She's our farm's new, or will be our farm's new working border collie. 6 months old, aren't we, Gin? Or no, 5 months old. So yeah, she's an ISDS registered collie. I wanted to call her Jip because I know she's going to give me a lot of Jip, but she has the most wonderful blue eyes. And my wife's favourite drink is a gin and tonic, and she likes Bombay Sapphire out of a blue bottle. And yeah, so Gin it is, because she apparently Jip's a boy's name. So my wife tells me. But yeah, so as you can imagine, life is going to be very hectic for the next few months. She's a lovely little thing, as you can see. She's taken to life here. She's only been here 12 hours or so, and she's taken to life here already in the madhouse. So yeah, and that's why things are busy. We have a new workshop assistant, which means that Gwyn has passed his apprenticeship. Finally, he's 9 years old and he's no longer the apprentice, because Gin's now the apprentice, so Gwyn is the master. So we'll put her down a minute. So yes, the Centre in the Past project is it's going to be an opportunity for anyone really of all abilities. You know, if you're a timber framer and you want to learn a bit more geometry, come along. If you're a complete novice and you want to learn a bit of framing, and you also want to have a week with a crew of other like-minded people, come along. You know, if you're an intermediate woodworker, come along. If you're a timber framing apprentice, come along. If you're getting to the end of your career and you want to do something a bit different and you want to have a go at framing because you've never done any, but you've been a carpenter all your life, come along. You know, that's all I can say. We're going to look at venues this week. I've got a really hectic week this week with work, although the van clutch going on Friday has sort of tempered those plans a bit. But yeah, things have changed a bit, and we need to look at what we're doing and how we're doing it. Yeah, so at the moment that's what we're looking at. We're trying to find a venue with camping, ideally an open access venue, so that we can show it to the general public as well. However, not too open. The problem with Worcester was it was just too open. You know, it was right onto the shopping precinct in Worcester, and it just wouldn't have worked for a 5-day training course. It would be so noisy and so busy, and you know, everything else. It just wouldn't have quite worked for that particular event. So anyway, yeah, if anybody knows of anywhere in the Midlands, it's got to be in the Midlands. That's the one thing that we've said all along, and the whole ethos of the project was we wanted to do something in the Midlands. So if anybody knows of a venue that's got space in September, let me know. I have got a couple of irons in a couple of fires that I'm looking at. So yeah, so that's what's happening coming up. So new puppy is going to take a lot of time training and things like that. So because she's not just got to be trained like all puppies have to be trained, she'll have to be trained as a working dog, but she's also going to have to be trained to the workshop environment. So hence I've brought her out from day one, like I've done all my dogs, and she will be in here today for a few hours, and then we'll increase that. I'm not doing any machining today, so you know, she won't be in here when we're machining and things like that, but other than that, yeah, she'll be in here most of the time. I am going to try and run a hand planing course before Christmas as an introduction to hand planing. So that will cover everything from squaring boards to moulding planes, and will probably be a 2-day course. Maybe a 3-day course, depending on how much detail people want to go into. Yeah, that is also in the planning, but that will be here, so that's easy to organise because I can just pick a date where there's not too much going on and say, right, that's what's happening. But that's going to be it this year for courses, guys, because I am so busy with work. It just is very difficult to run courses and to get through the work. But I will be doing, you know, plenty of YouTube time and such like. So yeah, there's other ways to learn. So yeah, just welcome to the madhouse is all I can say. I yeah, wasn't expecting to find such a nice registered border collie in such a short time frame. We've been looking for 12 months and not found anything we liked, and this Gin's come from a friend of a friend on recommendation. So yeah, all good. Just never comes quite at the right time, does it? So yeah, that's the exciting news for this month. Yeah, we've got a lot doing. There's a lot of work on. Yeah, hopefully Spab are going to send a couple of fellows to do some window restoration work with me. They've got a couple of fellows that are keen to do that. So we'll teach them hand planing, hand moulding and that sort of thing, of glazing bars and that sort of thing. And at some point over the next 18 months, I'm going to have to start and look for an apprentice of my own. My father-in-law has laboured for me for the past 15, 18 years or so, and he is 73 at the end of this month and has decided definitely he wants to retire now. He's definitely retiring now. So yeah, definitely going to need an apprentice. So I don't know when that's going to be just yet, because that's going to have to fit in with funds and jobs. However, you know, maybe in the next 6 months. Certainly in the next 6 to 18 months, I need to find somebody to help me. And I think I want to go down the apprenticeship route. It will be a true apprenticeship. So you'll go off to the local college and yeah, you'll do day release with me. And it will need to be on a true apprenticeship basis, that you will start at the bottom with the basic skills and you will build your skills up as you go, and as you improve, your wages will improve, and etc. You know, you will eventually need to buy your own tools, but I have that many tools that you won't need to buy any tools to start with. So yeah, that's, if you know of anyone who's coming up, perhaps is taking their GCSEs next year and has a burning desire to be a conservation carpenter joiner, they will need to be able to be, they need to be working in Warwickshire or living in Warwickshire, and need to be able to get to North Warwickshire every day to get to the workshop. But other than that, I will consider anyone, if anybody knows of anybody. And I would also consider a slightly older apprentice if anyone knows of one. So yeah, guys, that's where we're at update wise. I'm going to take you over and show you one or two bits now, playing wise and things. So you just join me. Planning some rebates in some boards for some doors. And what I'm looking to do with this is I'm looking to find my rebates to give a bead and butt finish, but should they ever shrink, I don't want to be able to see daylight between the boards. They're quite narrow boards because that's what's on the door that I'm replacing. And then before I've changed my setup, I just come in with my bead plane and put my bead on at the same time. So one rebate, one bead, one rebate, one bead. And I'll literally just work through my batch boards until I've done all 9 boards. 8 boards. Even. So that's what we're producing. 2 rebates, 2 beads on each board. give us finished look of a bead and butt door. So I've just taken the knicker iron out because that's marking the bottom of the rebate. Speed with moulding planes doesn't come from bringing the plane faster. Your speed with your moulding planes comes from taking a decent shape all the time. So you'll often see me in these videos making little micro adjustments with my hammer that allow just that little bit more speed, especially in nice timber like this. You know, there's no need to be taking super thin shavings and over what's the word? Being overzealous with thin shavings, because this timber is nice and clean, nice and tidy. It works beautifully in this aspect. This is real-time production joinery using hand tools. This is a scene that would be reminiscent of every workshop up and down the land. Pre-industrial revolution. Any joiner shop you'd have walked into, you'd have seen men working like this. Day in, day out. And this is what it's about. You know, we've become too tied up in the past 30 years with processes. Okay? Our processes need to be simple. And that's why our processes need to be simple, because that's how that work would have been done 100 years ago. It worked then, it'll work now. And yeah, thank you all for watching, and I will see you on the next video. Cheers, guys.